it became clear that Trudeau wanted to provoke a response by declaring the emergency, by invoking the Emergencies Act. Is that fair to say?
In my view, absolutely. Okay,
so
100%.
Here's the video.
We could just scroll down to page 5, please.
That's a couple of minutes, but this is where
okay.
Brendan
so
is here.
I just want you to see that. So on that document there, on February 3rd, CSIS assessed there was no indicators that known IMVEs, and I take it you know what that is.
Ideologically motivated violent
extremists.
And then if you scroll down to the other bullet points, it states on February 13th, CSIS advised that the implementation of the EA would likely galvanize the anti-government narrative within the convoy and further radicalize of some towards violence, referring to the increase in violent rhetoric following the declaration of the state of emergency in the province of Ontario. Furthermore, CSIS advised thank you. Furthermore, CSIS advised that the invocation of the EA by the federal government would likely lead to the dispersing of the convoy within Ottawa, but would likely increase the number of Canadians who hold extreme anti-government views and push some towards the belief that violence is the only solution to what they perceived as a broken system and government. Following the invocation of the EA, CSIS briefed Cabinet and reiterated the potential for the EA to increase anti-government views and violent ideologies, including in those not yet radicalized. Now, can you agree with me that you would never want to do anything that could create further radicalization of extremists within the city of Windsor? Is that fair?
I'm going to object to this question on this document.
Withdrawn.
And object to this document being put to the mayor.
Withdrawn. I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I love it, Keith. But so here's two questions. Practically speaking, question withdrawn, is that document still evidence? That document is still evidence for the Commissioner Rouleau?
Yes.
Okay. And question withdrawn, because the question is not for anybody but the general public, and the answer is irrelevant because it's so obvious. Okay. When things happen in real time, people forget what came first, the violence or the declaration. What we have here is CSIS, which is Canadian Security Intelligence, something or other. I forget what it stands for exactly.
That's correct.
They knew.
You nailed it.
Okay, good. They knew internally, or at least according to their own intelligence, if they were to invoke the Emergencies Act, it would provoke the exact response that they were purportedly invoking the Emergencies Act to counteract. And when it happens in real time, people will forget what came first, the invocation or the violence. I see this, and you'll tell me how right I am. This was Justin Trudeau doing exactly what he knew would provoke the very response that he was purportedly trying to respond to, so that he could then justify to say, look at the violence, it was justified, or look at the violence, we are now justified. Accurate or exaggerated?
Well, I think the evidence is growing, and at a high level. When you are the leader of the most incompetent government that Canadians have witnessed in a lifetime, you need to take very dramatic actions to get people to focus on things other than the Trudeau government's and his cabinet's incompetence and the harm they've done to Canada and Canadians. So if you can provoke a spectacular event on a divisive topic that you've made divisive earlier, him being you there being the prime minister, then that's the political move. I was in a discussion with Tom Marazzo last night, looking at some of the documents we're seeing and some of the moves. And I've said, you know, some of this stuff is actually quite brilliant that they've done. And we know it didn't come from the prime minister. So he does have some very conniving, smart strategists around him that trigger these events to, well, him, and I haven't had a chance to follow it because, you know, I've been so busy day and night with the inquiry, but there was some controversy about him going to a drag queen thing or something. Are you aware of this?
Keith, he's making a guest appearance on Drag Race Canada.
Okay. Let me tell you what I think that's for. What's the best way? He doesn't want the attention on this inquiry. He doesn't want people tuning in or talking about the evidence that's coming out because it's so bad for him. So best way is to go on Drag Queen Canada, whatever the heck that is, because as I was discussing with some of my team last night, look, those who love him won't care, right? And those who are more supportive of him will be, oh, whatever, right? But
Stunning
those
and brave.
who don't
They'll
like
call
him are going to be completely fixated on it and go, I can't believe this, and be talking about it instead of talking about the compelling, credible evidence that's coming from all of the officials, police officials, senior government officials, demonstrating that it was a complete overreach of his authority to invoke the Emergencies Act. And now the pattern that's emerging is that he was doing it as a provocative move. So that's what this is an example of, I say, where the people around him, they're like, okay, we need a distraction. Hey, is there some drag event we can send the prime minister to? Let's do it.
Not just that, but then, and again, people, if you're going to reply to Rachel Gilmore, be polite out of respect to me. Rachel Gilmore, Global News, retweets it. Guess who's making a guest appearance on Drag Race Canada? Skip to the 47-second mark of the promo. Congratulations, Justin. I was like, this is why I said, why do you think this is good? This makes us look like an absolute joke. And then she says, how so? And I said, first of all, it's crap television. Set aside the drag part. It's crap television. It's like those reality baking shows, Fix It or Leave It or whatever. I said, it's crap television. Yeah. Second of all, it's pandering of the highest order to distract from what everyone now is seeing as outright government abuse. And he's got the media behind him. Oh, stunning and brave, Justin Trudeau. Go. You've dressed in blackface. Why not go on a show where they dress men as women? It's nuts. But and I don't want to give it more attention than that, because I did, and now we go back to this stuff. They knew by invoking the Emergencies Act, it would or could provoke a violent response, or at the very least, further solidify anti-government sentiment, further divide the country.